A clinical layer that runs on the pharmacy's own computer. The patient data never leaves the building. In fact, patients are identified only by a code until the very end when the final documents are prepared. Find a patient by name or by code. Every patient the pharmacy has, sortable and scannable. A clinical viewer, last seen column, color-coded, green if it's fresh, red once it's been too long, and just a dash if it's never been done. The hub tracks each patient's last MedsCheck date, and the active toggle drops everyone who isn't a MedsCheck candidate, so you only work the patients who qualify. Open 1. Right now, this is all the pharmacy knows, a few conditions her medications imply, and no labs or hospital records yet. Her MedsCheck status, at a glance. And the hub always shows the next step. Here it's Open Clinical Viewer to pull her records. One click on Clinical Viewer copies her health number to the clipboard and opens the viewer in a new tab. The pharmacist logs in, pastes it, and downloads her labs and hospital records. About 2 minutes, then comes back. The hub tracks when each record was last pulled too, so nothing quietly goes stale. Bringing records in is drag and drop, profiles, labs, hospital PDFs. Drop a whole mixed pile, and the hub sorts every file to the right patient automatically, by health number. And when a record contradicts the chart, it flags it for you to confirm. It never guesses. Same patient. Moments later. 8 documented conditions from the hospital record. Heart failure, atrial fibrillation, kidney disease, a prior heart attack, none of it in the pharmacy profile a minute ago. And 3 years of labs, every relevant value in one timeline table, color flagged wherever a current result misses its guideline target. Targets set for this patient's conditions, not the generic ranges on a standard lab report. A fill-by-fill dispensing history sits alongside. Open it, and you see every refill and every discontinued prescription, and it flags overuse and early refills. And a care gaps card gathers the therapy gaps, monitoring due, and coverage notes in one place. Then, one click checks the whole record against the national guidelines and drafts the review. Every recommendation is a draft until the pharmacist approves it, by name. You choose where each item goes, the prescriber's fax, the MedsCheck as a pharmacist action, or both. Before anything is generated, you see exactly how each line will read, and can reword it or remove it. Approved items become the finished set: a MedsCheck, a prescriber fax, a patient take-home summary, and a pharmaceutical opinion. Where a therapy needs prior authorization, the matching insurer form rides along, pre-filled, and for a drug on an ODB limited use code, the LU criteria and code come with it. Here's that finished set, the real documents, scrolled top to bottom. The clinical assessment opens with a clinical context summary of the patient, then the recommendations, color-coded by priority, with 3 years of labs behind them. The prescriber fax, designed with prescribers, a brief clinical summary, the relevant labs, and each recommendation with the exact guideline it's based on. The plain language take-home summary, with 2 key counseling points for every medication the patient takes. And the pharmaceutical opinion, the documented drug therapy problem. Afterward, the hub tracks what actually happened from the pharmacy's own record. Recommend an SGLT2 inhibitor, and when a later profile shows one dispensed, it logs that automatically. No chasing the prescriber for a reply. Two things run through all of it: a prominent next step on every page that jumps you to the exact control, and a mini how-to video on every icon, one right-click away. From start to finish, it's about 5 minutes a patient, less time than filling out the MedsCheck forms built into Kroll. And feedback from the 4 pharmacies using it has been strong. Patients are amazed at the quality of the report, and that their pharmacist looked up their labs and wrote them such a clear take-home summary. From a bare pharmacy profile to a complete, guideline-grounded MedsCheck in a few minutes of pharmacist time. The GDMT.ca Clinical Hub.